Hey everybody, welcome to my first video. Today we are going to be looking at and taking apart this old mechanical metronome. Me and my wife found this at a flea market. Well, my wife found this at a flea market a few weeks back, and the guy didn't know much about it. I noticed that it was missing it's supposed to usually have a wooden cover here. It's missing the counterweight, but it does actually still work. So we bought it for next to nothing, and I mean, it's still super cool, super awesome piece, mechanical. So I figured I'd show this to you guys just in case anybody wondered how a mechanical metronome actually works, because now everything's all digitized nowadays. So this here is actually a wind-up metronome. It's got this little deal here that you actually twist and you wind up. Then you've got this pendulum here, and it's got a weight. It's got a weight at the bottom of it, and I can show you right here. This is the pendulum weight. So that's actually what keeps that sucker going steady, and that weight reacts with the counterweight. Depending on where the counterweight's at, will produce a specific BPM for your practicing. I don't know if you can see it very well, but on this metal deal here, there's actually etched lines, and that's for that counterweight to sit at a specific area, so that way the weight difference will actually cause it to go at a specific BPM. And that's what all these numbers are here, is certain BPMs. The higher the counterweight is, the slower it'll go, and the lower, obviously, the faster it'll go. So I don't have the counterweight, but I can still demonstrate to you how this works. With no counterweight, it actually goes at a 120, which I thought was super cool. I didn't know if it would work properly at all without a counterweight, but... So I'm going to use these rare earth magnets as my weight, and we're going to put it on here and just see the difference. First, I'll start with it up here at the top. And this will kind of simulate an actual counterweight and what it's supposed to do. So now it goes a lot slower with the weight being at the top. And then, if this was the correct weight, you could slide it down to the specific BPM setting that you'd want, and then go ahead and start her up. And see, the further down we go, the faster it goes. So I thought that was super cool. I've always been in love with antiques and anything music related especially, so I was super excited when we found this metronome. So that's kind of the basic essentials of how it works. This one specifically is a Whitner metronome. It was made in Germany. It says so right down here on the plate. I don't know if you can read that. Made in Germany. So we are going to go ahead and disassemble this bad boy and see how she works. And there you have it. That's the actual metronome mechanism. And look at that. So, I mean, it's fairly simplistic. How they made these is, it's really interesting. So, back to what I was saying earlier. This is the shaft that you actually wind up. And then there's spring-loaded back here, and it retains its tension. So that's what constantly drives this metronome and keeps it working. As long as there's spring tension, then the weight of the metronome will drive itself. So if you can see, let's see here, there's very small teeth on this gear here, very small teeth. And those spin this shaft right here, and this shaft is connected to this wheel with the notches on it. And that's what actually makes your sound. So as I slowly rotate this, now you can't really hear it very well. And I think that's part of the genius of mounting it in the wooden structure this way, is when you mount it, the clicks are amplified actually. So it sounds a lot louder. Otherwise, this is what you got. And that's not very loud. So let me see if I can get a shot of this worm gear in here. Actually, you know what? We'll just take it apart. That's what we're here to do anyways, right? So let's see if we can get a look at this worm gear. It's not going to want to zoom in very good, but essentially what it is it looks like two squares, and they're slightly offset. So that way, as it rotates the one way, it allows one of those notches from the wheel to come into the mechanism. And then as it rotates the other way, it allows it to exit the mechanism. So every click that you hear is the click of it entering and then exiting this little entrapment here, this little worm gear that kind of controls how that wheel clicks and how it moves. So it's actually a pretty genius design here. So that's essentially the basic workings of a mechanical metronome. Now we're going to go ahead and throw it all back together and get her working again. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I will have more videos coming in the future. I will be going over a Zenith shortwave radio and a Bendix Aviation record player, along with a few other cool things that I've got. So stick around and check that stuff out.